Hello and welcome back. My name is MC Man Parris, your guide and honest host. I hope you enjoyed Reflection 2, House is a Feeling. Now let's begin Reflection 3, The Drugs Don't Work, and continue the legendary rise of Coventry's Amnesia House, uncensored and full of working class humour. Open your mind as we experience Amnesia House, The Hardcore Generals, Part 1. Roger Germain of Daylight Robbery.
Well, you know about Coventry? And I'll tell you about Coventry. Amnesia House. It was the most respected and loved promotion going. And they were the boys. The town loved it. They were respected, they were loved, because they were from the street, they were real.
Neil Tricks, banging tunes, DJ and record producer.
The rave scene was electronic indie. It was the same thing. We were modern day goths in a sense, you know. It was different. There was a hippiness to it. There was an edginess to it.
Jane Wheaton of Amnesia House's backroom team from the early 90s.
Everyone just wanted to go out, have a good night, enjoy the night and love everyone, you know.
Artist and legendary DJ, Jumping Jack Frost.
Coventry was the most bombed city in the Second World War, and it was the most having it place in the rave days, in the early 90s, without a doubt.
Amnesia House co-founder, Bam Bam Linus.
It's like the whole of Coventry pulled together to follow what we were doing, and they had faith in it. It was like a new belief.
Fred Fivey, Amnesia House co-founder.
There was events on Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Everybody had found this new music, this beat, this culture, this whole thing just exploded.
But as soon as the rave scene was born, everyone wanted to party and love each other, so it was great.
DJ and record producer DJ Ron of London Something.
Youth culture generally, there's a window where things are starting to overlap. R&B soul music or sound system culture, and then acid house kicking in. And then while it's overlapping, there's also stigmas around the new thing coming in and the aspects of like ecstasy and what's been portrayed on the television with regards to guys like with white gloves on and glow sticks and like their eyes bulging out of their head. So, you know, there's this moment in time where it's like people are dipping their toe into this new culture that doesn't relate to them whatsoever, but they're from the inner city.
Bam Bam explains what Amnesia House did next after staging the UK's first legal all-night warehouse raves at the Sky Blue Connection in Coventry.
It went into nightclubs and stuff like that. The first sort of nightclub we done was the Dome in Birmingham, which was a massive place, a really big place. Busy at weekends with its normal Sharon and Tracy thing.
Neville Fivey, co-promoter for Amnesia House.
I think one of the clubs had approached Mickey or something to that effect. And it's like, look, we've been offered a Wednesday night in Birmingham. It's like, Wednesday night, like. So we just thought, you know what, we'll give it a go. Got in touch with the DJs, put some live PAs on, stuff like that.
It still weren't about money with us. It was all about having a good time. So when we put an event on, it weren't like, let's have a couple of crappy DJs and we'll earn loads of money out of it. We were saying, let's get the best DJs. We don't care how much money they cost, they've got to be the best. And, you know, at the end of the month, we might have earned 200 quid each. We probably weren't worth doing it.
Carl Cox, we'd have live PAs, Shades of Rhythm, Enjoy. Big acts like we'd have at our all-night events.
Fabio, Groove Rider, Jumping Jack Frost, Top Buzz, Sasha, Frankie Bones. It was just the rave scene starting to erupt and it becoming a worldwide thing.
Mickey Finn, legendary DJ.
And they were obviously in it for the right reasons. There was a lot of people in it because it was a money machine. I thought Amnesia House definitely were the leaders up in that part of the world, 88, 89, and then you started seeing a lot of other promoters. But they definitely, for me, well, what I noticed were the leaders that started raves, events, illegal parties.
Amnesia's #1 DJ, Groove Rider, looks back fondly.
I knew that I was getting a lot of love in Coventry and I was getting a lot of love in the Midlands, full stop.
Top Buzz DJ, Jason K, rest in peace.
I loved it because they always brought us in. The atmosphere was electric. It was proper, grown from the roots, you know what I mean? It weren't no corporate organisation, it had a soul, you know, so we loved it. And when we heard they were doing more and more things, we wanted to be involved as well.
This is the classic Devotion by Nomad. This tune really sums up the energy of Amnesia House.
I wanna give you devotion.
I wanna give you a bass to release your feelings. A star deep rhythm with a standing healing. A word and a message with a lot of emotion. With total dedication and a lot of devotion. And a lot of devotion.
Very early on, I considered something's going on here. And it wasn't a case of to do with being an artist or anything like that. It was more along the lines of we were these inner city kids that were now mixing with upper class kids. I'm talking like upper class girls and boys mixing with people who they would otherwise not mix with.
Anything that changes people's minds and perceptions has always got to be a big thing in my eyes, and that can't get any bigger than the rave culture, can you? So yeah, Amnesia House definitely changed things and people's perceptions and how people rave. Rave wasn't even a word back then.
Ravers are coming up to me going, Nev, where's Sasha? Like, have you really booked him, sort of thing? And then they'd turn up, I'll get on the mic and say, he's here, he's a bit late, but don't worry about it, he's going to go on and stuff like that. Yeah, we had quite a good relationship with the DJs in the end. They were like our friends, not just an act.
Every single time I turned up at Amnesia House, I'd get a massive hug from Mickey, Nev. I'd look at Nev and he'd just be like, oh. It was like a raving family. Do you know what I mean? Neville, Bam, all of them. Mickey, do you know what I mean? Just, they are a very important part of my history of why I'm here now.
I was part of Amnesia House. I felt like a part of it because of how I related with Mickey and Bam Bam and also Neville. They were just roadmen, you get what I'm saying? I used to look at them as people like me, but the northern version, you get what I'm saying? But on another level.
So the Dome in Birmingham, Wednesday night, you know, you'd have a great PAs, great DJs, midweek from all over the country. You'd have 1,000, 2,000 people in there on a Wednesday night.
It was just something that evolved and it just grew so huge from the beginning. It was just a small thing that from my front room, we literally had boxes and boxes of people's names, addresses, and we used to send all the, you know, the flyers for the next rave, mailing all these thousands of people all over the country. That's how big it was. It started off like, I suppose, a few hundred, then a few thousand, then there was thousands, you know.
This is yours truly, MC Man Parris and DJ Sasha from the Sky Blue Connection in July 1990. Feel the energy and the love.
Chipping, man. You got to understand. We're all tripping, man. Yeah. a shit. All we want to do is get into it. Come on, let's kick it.
Everything we were doing was Midlands based, and obviously we wanted this scene to grow. We sort of sat down and had a chat, and we says, why don't we move out of our area and start branching out a little bit and showing people up north what we got to offer, making Amnesia House a bigger thing. We still at this stage we didn't know what we do. We weren't businessmen.
Mickey's side of it was dealing with the clubs and sort of getting us into the venues.
Some great ideas Mickey was. Some of the things he used to come out with. But Mickey, he was intelligent, he was clever.
Because that's the first name that I always remember from Amnesia House. And I probably met Neville after, but Mickey Linus, I didn't know people even knew who I was in Coventry, right? Because it was probably one of the first times, well, second or third time I've ever been up the M1. Yeah, I probably met Mickey Linus and we just connected straight away. It turned out to be one of the most lovely people I've ever met in my life. Along with Neville, don't forget Neville.
The other boys just had the figures down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mickey, he was more of a creative, loved the music, absolutely. They all loved the music, but he loved it and he wanted it to be a great show as well the night. He wanted it to be a great show for the punters, for the customers. He loved the customers, you know what I mean? He was like one of them basically, but he was controlling things from behind the scene.
In this day and age, you'd say he was eccentric, but he just was in the scene, Mickey. You know, he was part of it. He was a character. You know, you went to different towns and that, but Mickey just stood out. He was just like out there, and he was always he was bouncing, yeah, you know, he was always in for the scene, you know. And his eccentricity helped the scene because it helped us to develop ourselves and think, do you know what? It's okay to be different, isn't it? Because everybody before had this big stiff upper lip, but we all just sort of evolved into different people. It was a whole new meaning in life, you know.
Lisa Linus, Amnesia House.
We'd go round mix and we'd sit there and the cups of teas were flowing and the arguments, and then they'd have a spliff and it'd calm down a bit. And then there'd be another argument. It was arguments and couldn't agree on DJs and couldn't agree on this and couldn't agree on that.
Look, we were all passionate about things and we all had our ideas, you know, but we all had our input, you know. Mickey, Bam had his up. Bam was the reserve one. Me and Mickey were more the wild two, you know, like.
Before we tell the story of Amnesia House up north at Shelleys, have a listen to what Sasha and me, Man Parris, was doing every week. This is February 1991. Delight.
In the earlier days, we used Sasha as our DJs, but as time went on, he stayed into house music. We started to realise there was a different sound being created, an underground sound, where Sasha was more vocally, piano and stuff like that.
I loved that scene back then because you had a cooking pot, you know, in an Amnesia House party. You had Sasha playing almost like piano house, and then I come on with Dominator. I would go to Belgium to buy records. Not a lot of people knew this, but I would slip out to Belgium. I had a couple of little shops because for me, that sound that they were coming out with, they was ruling it for me.
Mark Archer of Alternate and Nexus 21.
And then it was like 1990, 91 when I started going to Shelleys. I think possibly the first night was Delight that was on the Friday night, which was the more, housey kind of vibe. But because I was into everything, not just the one kind of style, I like the harder kind of stuff, which Amnesia does. You kind of got everything. I know towards the end they were known more for like the hardcore kind of thing, but at the start there was absolutely everything, like Detroit techno, Belgian techno, like Italian piano stuff.
Now the rave scene started branching off. There was different elements of music being made, and we were creating this, like what we'd called a hardcore side of the music. I think we went up to Shelleys to watch Sasha one Friday. I can't remember if it was Mick or Neville got speaking to the doorman.
And the next thing is Mickey says, look, we've been offered Shelleys on a Saturday night. Shall we go for it? So we thought, well, we're not going to come because we do something completely different to Sasha.
And they said there's nothing going on up there on a Saturday night. Sasha was doing the Friday night. And obviously because it was two different kinds of music, there was two different businesses that could run alongside each other without stealing each other's crowd. So they were happy for us to have a go at doing the Saturday night, which, like I said, we've done a promotion for 1 month. We got one flyer done to see how that would do.
So we brought the Amnesia brand up, your Groove Rider Fabio. We put a month flyer out, and we'll see how it goes. The first night was absolutely heaving on the Saturday, and we'd done that first month, and it was rammed every single Saturday.
And that was the only promotion we ever done for Shelleys, and it carried on for 2 years.
You're Loved by The Prodigy.
I literally worked there from day one. The day Shelly started, I worked behind the door selling tickets. People come in, give their £10.
The queues were huge, huge. No matter what the weather, the queues were huge. And then you just sort of go in, and it was erupting. As soon as the music went on, it erupted. I've never seen so many barebacks, sweaty people that just hugged you, and you'd be, like, it was just awesome, an awesome club.
Amnesia raver Larissa Gray describes the vibe at Shelleys.
And we went into Shelleys, and it was just like the most amazing experience I'd ever had. It was like I'd come home. Everybody was just on this like level where there was such love and such companionship. Everybody was just happy and in the zone.
They looked kind of unassuming from outside. And when you got in, it was total madness.
And the lady in the toilets, I'll never forget her, Jean. She was the cleaner. And my friend used to just go and spend about 3 hours with her in the toilets. We used to have to go and drag her out.
Hundreds and hundreds of people. The queue would go from outside of Shelleys miles long. After it hit that number, no more getting in. So they wanted to make sure they were in. They were not missing it for nothing. It was a new thing that was evolving, and everybody loved the music, the lights, you're seeing your friends.
But you'd go there with all your face all done and hair all done. Within an hour, we were sweating. Even though you weren't dancing, even standing in the DJ box, we were sweating.
And I was just going round to everybody saying, I love you, I love you. I don't know you, but I really love you. And I'd just be holding their hands. And there was this, you know, connection.
But I was also having the best time of my life as well. I got mashed. I was still on the ball. I knew what was going on. I weren't stupid, but I was buzzing like all the ravers, you know. We were all buzzing. Everybody was buzzing that was coming to these events.
People who you were with, you know, they just wanted to give them money and get in as quick as possible. And then the double doors into Shelleys, as soon as they opened, you'd start sweating. It was that hot in there.
You had to go a bit easier in Shelleys than you normally would because it was Sasha's. You used to think it's Sasha's club. Do you know what I mean? We always associated Sasha with Shelleys. Whether he'd be there or not, I paid respect to that club. I wouldn't do what I was doing at the Eclipse at Shelleys. You know, it's like playing techno in a garage club. That's the way it seemed. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, you went and showed that place the right amount of respect.
Shelleys was like, it was a holy place. When you walked into Shelleys, as soon as them doors opened and you walked inside there, you just thought, oh my God, I've walked into a sauna. But I think with the heat, the atmosphere and the people that went to Shelleys were, whether it was the further up north you went, the nicer the people were, but just people come from Nottingham, Derby, and Shelleys just created an atmosphere what I'd never ever seen before. And
I weren't just standing on the sidelines thinking, oh, I've done well tonight. I was in the middle of it with all the people. I was on the stage. I was at the door. I was in the toilets talking to people. You know, I was even buying people drinks. Hey, do you want a drink and that? You know.
Enjoy the anthem, a personal favourite of mine. Just listen to this.
Obviously the ecstasy side of things and all that was what the club, the whole scene was evolved around the music and around the pills and around the doves, around the tangerine dreams, around the different types of stuff that was out there. Kids, it didn't feel like you were all, you know, taking drugs, and you know, it just felt like happy pills, to be fair. And a few of the lads from Coventry used to go up there, and they're obviously knocking a few pills out and stuff like that. And we know Amnesia, we know so we had to sort of keep the lads, you know, on side with us there.
And my God, the anticipation, how it grew. You'd tell friends, friends would tell friends. So before you knew it, there was like vans full of you going up there. There was 10, 20 cars going up, and everybody loved it. It's like something evolved and you all wanted to be part of it, you know. And then at the end of the night, going to the services, that was just as much of a buzz as well.
Mark Archer explains the story behind Nexus 21's iconic tune, being performed at Shelleys for the first time. You've got Asterex in space, watch your bass bins, I'm telling you.
We got contacted and said a date had come up. I think it was March the 14th, 91. It's either the 14th or the 21st, somewhere around there. And asked to do a PA as Nexus 21. We had to get there early because we were actually like properly playing live. There was no, you know, miming to a backing track like we did later on in the careers. It was all coming out of the machine. So we got like an 808, 909, 2 keyboards, samplers and stuff. Had to plug it all in. And it was a bit of a spooky night. I got a top on that said Nexus 21 and big letters. And this lad came over to me and he's like, are you with Nexus 21? Don't go anywhere. I've got two mates over here, they're big fans of yours. I thought, we're never going to see this geezer again. About 5 minutes later, he comes over with these two lads. These are my mates, Asterix and Space. They're DJs from Sheffield. Now, that was the Saturday. On the Wednesday before, we'd been in the studio doing a Nexus 21 remix. And actually, I'd got a cassette and I'd sampled that. Yeah, check this next track out. You've got Asterix in Space, Watch Your Bass with, off this cassette. So I didn't know them, never met them. And it's just like, how on earth is this happening? And from that moment, like I was good mates with Asterix in Space. Used to go up the Eclipse with them and stuff.
Yeah, check this next track out. You got Asterix in Space. Watch your bass bins, I'm telling you.
Here, Mark Archer tells another tale from Shelley's folklore, this time with Alternate.
Because everyone came out of the venue at the end of the night, and instead of just getting in the cars and going home, people would stand around the cars, open the doors, play the tapes. And I always wondered, why are people like settling for a crappy little Alpine system? Why don't we give them something, a bit better, a bit of a 5K rig on the back of a truck? And someone knew someone who got a truck that we could borrow. So that pulled up during the day, parked it up, set the 5K system up. So it just looked as though, a trucker had pulled up and was parked up for the night kind of thing. And there was a guy from Stafford who later became Bizarre Inc.'s manager. And he kind of like let it slip to a few people that we were going to be there filming that night. That night, there was more people queuing outside than the capacity of the club when the club was already full. We had a camera crew and we came out like about quarter of an hour before the end of the night, got up on the truck, suits on and everything. When everyone came out, there's a truck and you could hear stuff was going on, the generator and everything. People started gathering in front of the truck, and then we pulled the tarpaulin up and we got like the dance of the MC and us too, like keyboards and everything, and just started the PA. And I think it possibly wouldn't have, people would have still talked about it, but the fact that there was a radio presenter turned up just on the off chance with a DAT machine and a mic.
Thousands and thousands of people pouring out of Shelleys nightclub. The canopy is just pulling back from the articulated lorry. Underneath there is Alternate. The crowd are curious, wondering what's happening. Now, they're used to things going on till 3 o'clock, but this is a little bit different.
Then you come into the car park, everyone's getting in their cars to go, but oh no, here's another. And they were making a video for they were shooting a video, and you can see it to this day. It's obviously one of their alternate videos, and they've got a big trailer, pulled the sides of it all up, and they were all there, and it was amazing. Where would you see that for free? Nowhere, not in this planet ever made for free.
You can hear me above the noise. This is the sound of Alternate absolutely rocking thousands of people in front of me. The punters of Shelleys nightclubs really just don't know what's happening. And this is Alternate's new single. In front of me, all I can see is an absolute mass of bodies. Literally thousands of people, many people who didn't get inside the nightclub have waited for this moment. People are dancing on the top of cars. They're going mad. We speak to you now. The gig off the back of the articulated lorry has been going for what, about 5 minutes. Video cameras everywhere shooting their new video.
It was an amazing thing. The people who were coming to the door and giving me their money, sometimes they'd give £20 and it was only a tenner, and they'd be running in the door with that, like, your change, come back. And, someone would be like, I'm getting in there because they want to be in there and not miss it. It was just such an amazing vibe.
I don't think you'll ever get anything like it. It was so friendly as well. There was people from everywhere, Manchester, Mansfield, everywhere, and it was something else. The best, I think, for me. The most friendliest, the most comfortable place to go.
So we weren't sort of seeing what we were doing, but people were saying to us, yeah, this is brilliant what you're doing, and then it was like people like Groove Rider and Fabio and Top Burrs, Carl Cox, they were saying what yous are doing is absolutely amazing, and we'd sort of say, no, yous are making this, and they would say, we're not doing it on our own. What your input? They went all over the country, all over the world, DJing. But they were saying what yous are doing is you're going the extra mile. We started to realise then we were part of this scene. We thought they were the scene, the big DJs and stuff like that. I don't know. It sort of started growing on us then, making us realise we were brilliant. We were doing something that was really good. Although we didn't. At the start, we didn't think it. It was we were becoming the superstars.
We were moving around the country sort of quite fast, really. We started doing the Birmingham. The next thing we're in Manchester, then Stoke-on-Trent come about. Doing it all over the country. We were sort of like becoming big. No matter what town it was going to be in, it was going to be successful.
This is yours truly with DJ Rap at Shelleys in the summer of 1991.
Live and direct, y'all. Here we go. I'm the one and only dominator. I'm the one and only dominator. I want to shoot myself. Lock it up, man. DJ Rap on your case.
I'm bigger and bolder and rougher and tougher. In other words, sucker, there is no other.
Hardcore Massive.
I'm the one and only dominator.
Go!
What happened after that, it was turned into a business. The thing that you have to give The Eclipse, The Edge, and Amnesia House credit for is that, in a sense, they weren't really copying anybody because there wasn't anybody to copy. So it was their thing. They created a scene. And what you see with Amnesia and Neville and Mickey and Bam and all the people that were at the beginning is that they laid the foundations without any rules. And it was absolutely crucial that that happened, because otherwise we would have had a corporate scene rather than a scene that was real.
Top buzz at Donington Park in December 1991 in front of 10,000 Amnesia House ravers.
Amnesia House! Amnesia House! Get in there! Your favourite family! Top Buzz! Right now it's party time! Right now it's party time! Top Buzz in the house and we say it's party time! Time for some jungle techno in the place! Pump it up! Pump it up! Pump, 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 pump it up! Time to the fantastic Top Buzz Amnesia House!
Written, produced and directed by Adrian Patrick Dowling. Sound recordings, Ron Samuels and Edward Taylor. Voiceover by M.C. Man Parris. Offline editing, Jonah Winkless. Sound edit and mastering, Duncan Whitley. Trainee assistants, Jamie Shufflebottom, Roman Dowling and KD Dowling. This is a Daylight Robbery production. Next up, in Reflections 3, The Drugs Don't Work, we have Amnesia House, Hardcore Generals Part 2. The rise of Amnesia continues as they join forces with Leicester-based promoters Nemesis to do a main event at Donington Park, and the birth of the big legal all-night rave industry begins.